This is Peter, Propane Express, and today we're going to be doing a conversion of a gas grill from LP over to natural gas. So we got the grill, and you can see he's been enjoying it for quite some time on LP. We've got to make certain we have several things. So one is we want to get the conversion kit from the customer, so that way they can make sure they get the right one from the manufacturer. So they got us a regulator. They got us, you can see here, here are the orifices for the conversion. And then the nice thing is this actually came with as well a quick connect setup so that we can install that so that they would be able to take it loose and be able to store it inside if they need to. So inside each of these areas here, you can see we've got 4 burners. We've got 4 of these small orifices. And along with that, we've got a radiant burner here in the back. So you guys can take a look down there. You can see the radiant burner. And we've got 1 large orifice for that. So I'm going to be showing you guys how we take this apart and get that all hooked up. Back here you can see where we've got our gas line stubbed up. 3/4 inch gas valve here because we brought 3/4 here for him to make certain he did definitely have plenty of gas flow. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get a 3/4 inch nipple in here, because what we want to do is get this gas line above where these electrical outlets are. So we want to get it up above this. All right, so I see one problem with that, and that is going to be that they jammed us up against that wall. So we're going to be kind of tight. You can see that the guys that did the pavers pushed us up against the wall, so I had to kind of change things around a little bit, actually change out the shutoff valve and everything. So now our next thing to do is we've removed the gas cylinder in there. You guys can see is we are going to look at going ahead and taking loose this connection right here, because this is the connection going onto the burner. That obviously was going down, dropped to it. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to modify that so that then we can have this regulator in place of that, because the regulator for the propane cylinder is actually on the end of the whip. Okay, so I had to rearrange this, got that all taken care of like I said before, and now we've got this piped. We brought it outside here with the whip, so that way it's going to be more easily able to get to his connection whenever he's got it pulled away from the actual wall. Next thing we're going to do is we need to take loose these grates and go ahead and get those over to the side. Alright, so once we have the actual grates out of the way, you're going to be able to see that we have these trays. So these trays are in here because they provide a more, they spread the heat out a little bit better. So we've got to lift those out as well so we can get in here to where the orifices are. Now we have where we can get down into the burners. You can see where we actually are going to be able to have our orifice down there, and if you guys want, I'll even take you down here and so you can see where the actual igniter is down there. And then what we're going to be using is these orifices here to change out each one of these burners so that way they have the right size orifice. Okay, so now that we've got the clips off the back, which sometimes they use clips to hold these in place, so they have little like C-clips on there, but now that these are loose, what we want to do is we're going to lift the back and we're going to slide it forward to get that out. Now you can see right on here, this is set up to be able to regulate the airflow going into the burner. It's a pretty nice setup. Definitely heavy duty. And then I'm going to turn you guys so you can go down inside the grill and take a look down inside there, but you're going to be able to see right inside of there where my finger is basically is where the orifice is. And that's where we've got to put one of these. Now I've already got this set up where you can see that I've got a socket that's just the right size for this. So we're going to drop out the new one and we're going to work on getting the old one back out. You'll put on there. Get it set so that way it's rotating correctly. we're going to see about using this to get it on there. We may need to go get a socket to actually help turn this. So it looks like I got it loosened up enough that I'm going to be able to get it out. Obviously, the more grease and oil you have down in here doesn't actually make it slicker, it makes it harder to get out. So since this has been a well-used one, it definitely is a little bit harder to get some of this out. So you want to spin this so you feel confident that the orifice is all the way out, and then gently take it out so you can see it was left right in there. And then we want to make certain that it's nowhere near our new ones. If you take a look, so the old one, this one, has a much smaller orifice than this one, and the reason being is propane is going to be has much more BTUs, and it also runs at a higher PSI, or just a higher pressure, I should say, not a PSI, but higher pressure versus the natural gas, and so it needs to have a bigger orifice to let the same amount flow through. So now we're going to work on getting this put back in. Now, to start with, to do that, I'm going to go ahead and take my socket off of there, get this put back in the end of it, so it looks like this. This one's fortunate because it actually sticks a little bit out of the end. Where you can see it makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this put in. Alright, and I can put this on there, get it set up to turn it back in again a little bit more. So you can see I'm using this to turn it in, and that's it. So we got one of those changed out. So now we're going to repeat that for each of the next 4 burner assemblies. Alright, so now that we've got all the burner orifices put back in, and we've got the burner, the radiant grate, and then the actual top grate back in place, our next thing we got to contend with is that radiant burner back there. So we're going to close the lid. And the next place that we're going to go is around to the back to that little port right there. That should give us access into what it is that we're looking for. Alright, so now that I've got that cover plate off, you can see that we've got the orifice, and that is right there on that tip. So what we'll use is you can either use an open end wrench, like a box wrench, or you can use an adjustable set to the right size. Once you usually get it started being loose, the rest of it will come off, usually just with your finger. So I'm going to go ahead and keep unscrewing that out of there so I can show you what that looks like. And again, this is the radiant burner, or infrared sometimes people say. So a lot of times people put this on just to keep things warm. It just runs a nice path along the back. And again, so you can see that there. Let's take it up here and compare it to our one that is going to go in. So there is our existing propane one. And if you guys can take a look and see, so propane, natural gas. It's going to be a little bit bigger. Doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it definitely makes a huge difference in how it actually functions. Well, one of the things I should show you too is, so you can see on here we have a reading of 1.5, and again that's our new one. Our old one has a reading of 1.1 on there. And then I'll try to do this. See if I can. And so when we're all done, we can check out. We got the gas turned on, the whip's connected. We can come up here to the front. All right, we got the flame going there. All right, let's get that flame going. All right, let's get that flame going again in there. All right, we're going to put these all on high so that way we can see them get fired up and going. When you have the grate and then the actual radiant grate down to the burner, it's hard. You have to kind of look in there and just see for the flame. You can kind of see in this area right here, you can see the flame down inside there. Here, I can see the flame, yep, right down inside that area. And then in here, I can see the flame in this area here. And then the last one. Plus, we can also see too when we get some steam, not steam, we actually get some smoke coming off there. That's burning up some of that old meat and stuff like that that he has on there. Let's get our last one going. See if we can see that one get ignited. Oh yeah. See the fire going on that. On these particular models like this, just so you guys can see, what we got to do here on this is we're going to put it in the off position. Then we do is we turn it to high, we hear it click, and then we're going to hold it down, because what it's going to do is it's going to actually get our thermopile going, so that way then it can register the fact that it's on, it's going to stay on. Okay, so you can see we've got some good smoke going here. Now lastly, we're going to check this back here with the radiant burner. I'm going to try to get it so you can see the spark. A little bit hard to see. And then what it does is it actually has heat that runs down that full length of it. So you don't really see a flame so much, just the gas is along that whole run just ignited and just giving off a little bit of heat. So you can use that to keep the meat warm so that you're not burning it by having the actual grill on, or you can do it whenever you're using the rotisserie if you have that running right through there. So we got everything on. You can see the areas that have the old meat on there are actually getting nice and hot and starting to burn that off. So we've got her converted over, everything's working good. We're going to shut it back off, which I did. And then one of the things I talked to the homeowner about, you always want to try to make sure you remind them to do is come back here and actually turn off the gas. So when it's all done, it can get left hooked up, but the gas is still shut off to the system. So this is Plumbing Express, Peter, and just want to touch base with you guys to show you guys what it was like to go ahead and convert this grill over. This was a, let's see, a Blaze Professional. It was a really nice grill, and it also usually makes them pretty darn hard to get them changed. This one was definitely up there. It had some really tight areas to get into to get the burners out, and quite a few layers to get it out. And then it also was pretty tight in there to get the actual regulator installed in place. But that's how we convert one of these over. When you're all done, you just want to make certain that you've checked it all out. The big thing is when you're walking away from this, you need to have already turned it on and get it to run. I've even had sometimes before where the homeowners, as we're picking up, they'll come out and actually start cooking up hot dogs or hamburgers for you. That way you can really know it works.